by saying that the United States government of America, the federal, as Sister Soldier would say, that's what I told you, the Federal Bureau of Investigation under a homosexual director by the name of J. Edgar Hoover. I wonder, what does the J stand for? Minister Jamil say it's actually Gay Edgar Hoover. You know what I'm saying? The March issue of Vanity Fair will feature a story on the activities of the FBI director. Not only was he a wiretapper and a bedroom snooper who bugged the hotel rooms and bugged the telephones of black leaders of black civil rights organizations and the radical militant revolutionary organizations. He was the bedroom snooper in the hotel rooms of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. as Dr. King was fighting. Whether we agree totally with his tactics and strategy or not, we have to have some love for Dr. King, for it is written in the scripture, what greater love could a man or a woman have than to give their life or to lay down their life for their friend, for their family, for their nation, for their people. J. Edgar Hoover, Gay Edgar Hoover, tried to bring Dr. King down with his wiretapping. Now we are finding out about the nefarious activity of the CIA and how the CIA all over the face of the planet Earth is responsible for the murder of millions of people and the destabilizing and overturning of governments. According, stick with me for a while, according to the FBI files, J. Edgar Hoover in memos to his field offices had this to say, brothers and sisters. He said, we must stop the rise of a black messiah. We must stop the rise of a black messiah who can unify and electrify the militant masses of the black people. He said we have denial objectives. Our denial objectives are, we cannot permit the youth to listen to this revolutionary black messiah, because if the youth are ever turned on to this messiah, then it's all over for us here in America. He went on to say we must create so much confusion, so much controversy. We must misdirect. We must do everything to otherwise neutralize this militant black messiah. We must create such an atmosphere of confusion until even in the conscious community, even in the conscious circles, the nationalists, the Pan-Africanists, the cultural nationalists, the black socialists, the black communists, they will turn their backs on their liberator in their midst. We must do our work. We must do our job, and we must do a good job, J. Edgar Hoover said. In the FBI files, we find out about Operation Dirty Tricks, how the Dirty Trick Squad would send letters out, send tapes out, as J. Edgar Hoover sent tapes to Sister, the Queen of Dr. Martin Luther King, Sister Coretta Scott King, trying to derail the work of Dr. Martin Luther King. They would send letters out pretending that the letters came from someone else that was near or dear or close to us or from an enemy camp. Then we read about the actual fratricide between us organization and the Black Panther Party, and how J. Edgar Hoover of the FBI would kill in the Black Panther camp and make the Panthers believe that the US organization had done it, and kill in the US organization camp and make us believe that the Panther Party had done it. Back and forth, this kind of bloodletting, this kind of cold-blooded killing. Let's go to some actual facts here. Harper's Magazine, April 1984, talks about the activities of the CIA throughout the world. Look, we must solve the riddle of Malcolm X. You have seen the movie. You have heard from every hook-nosed, bagel-eating cracker and Jew perpetrating a fraud all over the screens, all over the televisions, the talk shows, the radios, headlines of the newspapers. Everywhere you have looked, you have heard about Elijah Muhammad, Louis Farrakhan, and the Nation of Islam, but you haven't heard from Elijah Muhammad, Louis Farrakhan, and the Nation of Islam. And so tonight, we have come to explain it all to you, because we are the ones with the experience. We'll get into it a little further, but let's go right into 1954 in Iran, when the CIA went into Iran, toppled the legitimate government of Brother Mohammad Mossadegh, who had nationalized the oil and all of the industries of Iran and put it into the hands of the people so that the people would be enriched by the wealth of their own country. The United States government stepped in, killed thousands and thousands of the Iranian innocent people, toppled the government, the legitimate government of Mohammad Mossadegh, and set up the Shah of Iran, their puppet in power in Iran. Look at the bloody massacre of black people in the Congo, where they destroyed, in Belgium, Congo, where they destroyed a great, massive number of black people. It goes on to say 1963, I'll just skip back and forth. Cuba, an attempt to assassinate Fidel Castro by the United States government, unsuccessful. And they have launched, according to these reports, they have launched attempts to take the life Fidel Castro over and over again. 1963, Iraq through 1973, their objective was to provide financial and military assistance to Mustafa Barzani so that they could establish an independent Kurdistan. You are hearing about Kurdistan in the news today and how they have established a certain zone that Saddam Hussein is not allowed, his troops are not allowed, his pilots are not allowed to fly across that zone because of the protected area for the Kurdistan. You thought that this was something